Breaking news right now, a massive inferno on an LA freeway causes a shutdown that could last for 24 hours. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sandra Mitchell.
And I'm Dave Gonzalez. A tanker truck burst into flames on the 60 freeway in Montebello this afternoon. It's having a ripple effect, though, on some of the alternate routes. KCAL 9's Derek Bell is above the scene in Sky 9. Derek?
This fire has been burning for almost 2 hours now. As you said, shortly after 12 o'clock this afternoon, a double tanker truck apparently carrying a petroleum product burst into flames on the eastbound 60 freeway, just on the underneath the Paramount overpass. So we pull out a little bit, you can see no traffic either direction through the area. Firefighters still trying to put out those flames. We understand they're going to be bringing in a dry chemical, which they understand is going to be completely knocking down those flames. It'll be at that time that the firefighters will be able to move in, try and clean up the area. Caltrans, of course, will need to assess this bridge overpass to see if it's safe enough for vehicles to pass underneath. We've got a backup on either side of the Paramount off-ramp on the 60 freeway, both east and westbound, of about 2 miles. Caltrans has started to get traffic off of the freeway there. You can see the backup there at Paramount. Other portions of the freeway, they have turned traffic around and taken that off the off-ramps, taking it off on the on-ramps. Looking back all the way to the 605, that's how far back the traffic jam goes on the westbound side. On the eastbound side, all the way back to the East LA interchange has completely shut down. They are taking traffic off of those off-ramps. Again, a massive fire. Tanker truck fire here on the 60 freeway eastbound has shut down all lanes of the 60 through Montebello. Firefighters are still battling the blaze right now. All lanes completely shut down. Overhead, this is Derek Bell at the controls of Sky 9. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Derek Bell, thank you for that. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your picture here as we watch the flames still shooting out of the top of that tanker truck. I want to bring in Luis Mendoza, the California Highway Patrol. He's on the phone with us here this afternoon. Officer Mendoza, what kind of an update can you give us about the fire and when we might expect to see this freeway open?
Good afternoon, Dave. Well, it looks like the fire department still has not been successful in getting complete control of the fire. They still continue to have flare-ups out there, and until the scene is considered safe or deemed safe by the fire department, we obviously cannot open up the lanes of the 60 freeway. One of the things that I can tell you is that we definitely want people to use alternate routes. There are a few alternate routes that are very unknown to people unless you live in the area. For example, Beverly Boulevard. Beverly Boulevard is a perfect alternate route in order to move east and west through the city of Montebello, and Beverly can get you to the 605 freeway, and so does Whittier Boulevard. Those are very good alternate routes to use instead of the 60, as well as the 10 freeway. We also have the fire department and Caltrans waiting until the area is deemed safe so that they can inspect the integrity of the overcrossing, which it looks like there's been some damage to the overcrossing as well.
Officer, you say it looks like there's been some damage to that overcrossing. What are you seeing?
Oh, we actually saw pieces of metal, molten metal falling down, and it looked like concrete also falling down from the top. So we are definitely worried about the structural damage that occurred there because of the fire, especially being that Paramount Boulevard is an overcrossing that is used by all the shoppers that are going to the Montebello Town Center, which is only a few 100 feet away from this off-ramp. So we are definitely keeping an eye on the structure and hoping that fire will get a hold on this fire so that they can go out there and inspect this structure.
Officer, oftentimes in situations like this, drivers get pretty frustrated. They've been stuck for more than 2 hours now. Any indication on when you'll get those drivers off the freeway? And would you consider turning them around, having them going in the opposite direction?
Oh, absolutely. Our units are actually working on a plan to get all the vehicles out of the freeway. And, of course, all of our options still open, and we're analyzing how we're going to be able to do this. The easiest way to get this accomplished is going to be going the wrong way on the freeway and having them exit at the Garfield Avenue off-ramp and the Atlantic Boulevard off-ramp as well. But we do ask that the people who are out there stuck in traffic, that they remain in their vehicles so that they can start driving when we instruct them to do so.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of people right now are getting out of their vehicles, getting some fresh air and kind of stretching. As we said, they've been there for more than 2 hours now.
Exactly, and one of their concerns is that their vehicles are going to overheat, and that is a valid concern, and we do appreciate that they are turning off their engines. However, we will put into motion a plan to get all those vehicles out, and within the next couple of minutes, we should have some of those vehicles being directed to drive the wrong way on the freeway.
So is that a case where they'll notify them one at a time? You'll have officers walking around out there and pretty much just pointing to them and saying, turn it around right here and go back the other way?
Yes, most likely we're going to have units going on the opposite side of the freeway, on the westbound side of the freeway, over the PA, announcing that all traffic has been halted so that they can turn around and head the opposite direction. And that is the only feasible way to actually get them out of the freeway. But definitely we want them close to those vehicles so that they can take control and start driving.
And officer, I just want to get back to that overcrossing that we mentioned, the Paramount Boulevard overpass. We're looking at it live right now here on KCAL 9. You did mention that it looked like some parts of concrete had fallen off. Is that correct?
Yes, we did see some pieces of metal and concrete falling off. And the fuel, when it's very hot, when it starts burning, and it can cause quite some damage to metal and to the concrete. So therefore, we are holding all traffic. We don't want any traffic on Paramount Boulevard or on the overcrossing because we don't know if the structure can support the weight. So at this time, all traffic on both directions of the freeway still halted, as well as on the overcrossing.
Officer Mendoza, I'm sure a lot of people watching this are praying that this structure is okay, that it has not been compromised in any way, because as you know, this is a vital link. The 60 eastbound and westbound here carries a lot of traffic every day from folks points east mainly.
Absolutely, yes, and we completely understand that people don't want this area to be closed off for a long period of time, especially when you have the shops at Montebello, which is a very popular shopping center in this area, being full, almost at capacity with Christmas shoppers. And but the good thing is that there are several alternate routes that you can take into that area. For example, you have Monebello Boulevard, Beverly Boulevard. All those streets make it possible. Even Rosemead Boulevard in San Gabriel can be used to get to the mall and get in and out of that shopping center.
Yeah, you're right. It's a busy place right now. The Montebello Town Center is open, though, this afternoon. And there's also a Costco and a Sears in that area, so it is a popular place for shoppers. I just want to make sure that we understand what you're saying here, officer. If that the structure, the Paramount Boulevard overpass, is compromised, there's a good chance that then you would have to shut down this portion of the 60 freeway. Is that correct?
That is correct, and it would have to be shut down until some type of repair work can be done, or until one of the Caltrans engineers and fire department engineers both look at the structure and deem it safe. Until then, we will be clearing traffic lanes and allowing people to go underneath the overcrossing on the freeway, as well as on top of the overcrossing.
Let's hope that Caltrans gets in there and gives it the all clear. I think about tomorrow morning with traffic on its way into the Los Angeles area from points east, and I guess it'd be okay coming in on that other side, but there's no way they could get home at night.
Exactly, yes, and one of the priorities for the Highway Patrol is to reopen lanes as soon as an incident is considered safe. And at this point, we still can't do that because the tankers still have flare-ups, and fire department is still fighting this fire. So at this point, we have to just hold back and wait until the fire department can get this completely 100% under control.
Earlier, we talked to some other officers from the CHP, and they told us that this was an extended closure. Can you tell us exactly what that means, or does it not mean anything except that it's going to be closed for a long time?
Well, your typical SIG alert will last anywhere from 30 minutes to maybe 2 hours. Anything after 2 hours is considered an extended closure. So at this point, because we still don't have the Caltrans engineers and the fire department going to check the structure. We consider this an extended closure until they can look at the structure and see if there's any integrity of the structure compromised. So we are going to be waiting and seeing until the experts give us the green light to open up the lanes.
Officer Luis Mendoza with California Highway Patrol on the phone with us this afternoon. We checked with the company that owns this tanker truck. It's owned by a company called Cool Transport, and the owner of that company refused comment. I guess the good news in all this, Officer Mendoza, is that the two people inside were safe. We understand they walked away from this. Have you had any more communication with them as to what happened?
Yes, actually, our officers did contact them at the scene, and apparently, the source of the fire is still unknown. There was some talk about the fire possibly coming from the vehicle's brakes. However, that has been not confirmed yet. Our officers are still investigating the incident, but we are thankful that no one is hurt in this incident and that it is not a traffic collision. The driver did notice the fire coming from underneath the trailer, and when those flames engulfed his tanker, he decided that it would be best to abandon the trailer and run for safety, which is what pretty much any person would do when they look at their mirrors and see a tanker engulfed in flames. But the person and the passenger, driver and passenger, were both considered not a person that of interest and causing a collision or anything like that. It was just we were going to have to investigate the source of the fire.
Yeah, officer, I think you're right about them getting out. When you're hauling a petroleum product and you see flames, probably best to get away from the vehicle. Thank you so much for calling in to us this afternoon, Luis Mendoza from the CHP. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with live coverage right here on KCAL 9, a tanker fire on the eastbound 60. We'll be back in a moment.